College life can look very different depending on where you live. For some people, it's simply just walking across to student union to their dorm. For others, it means having to commute from apartments off campus or even waking up an hour early just to find parking. At UNC Charlotte, thousands of students navigate this daily commute. Some love it, while others despise it. I spoke with two different students whose experiences show both sides of the commuter life. First, there's Susie, a biology student who loves being outdoors. She enjoys long walks through the park and makes most of her time outside. For her, commuting isn't a burden, it's just part of her routine. Susie's commute is just short and simple.
I find my commute to be pretty brief. I typically walk, I want to say, like 6 minutes on a regular to a bus stop, the Niner Transit. And typically from there, I choose to take the bus um, the rest of the way towards whatever direction of my class I'm trying to get to at the day, like the day of.
Then there's Lorena, a business major who transferred to UNC Charlotte. Her path into commuter life wasn't a choice, but more of a necessity. She didn't have the option to live in a dorm, so commuting became her reality. Unlike Susie, Lorena often feels the difficulties of not living on campus. Her commute is longer.
So Arcadia is like 10 minutes from here, maybe like 15 on a day with traffic. So usually I wake up. I do have to leave 30 minutes before my class starts, or I will not make it on time. And God forbid the shuttle is late, which it is quite often.
Susie explained that moving off campus was a smooth transition for her after living in a dorm for a while. She liked the idea of being able to walk to campus without the hassle of parking.
I think what really helps is that I'm able to walk to campus so I don't feel as like separate from the campus itself.
On the other hand, Lorena explained that her commuter experience wasn't really a decision. As a transfer student, she never got the dorm experience at all.
I'm a transfer, so when I applied for housing on campus, I didn't get it because it was also like a last minute thing. I transferred in the spring and I was like still deciding if I wanted to come here or not. So I decided I wanted to, and when I applied for housing, like there wasn't really anything left.
But commuting isn't always easy. Susie admits that the buses aren't always on time and bad weather can make things difficult. It's a small frustration, but one she's learned to live with.
I think the hardest part about being a commuter, I would say, is maybe a little bit with weather or yeah, it's just like weather in general. Like whenever I walk towards campus, like if it's a good day, I'm having a great time. Like it's a grand old time. If it's pouring, like I'm over here having the like low key fight for my life.
For Lorena, the challenges run deeper. She talked about how hard it is to feel connected to the social life on campus. Without living in the dorms, she sometimes feels like she's on the outside looking in.
Whenever I'm with my friends on campus that live here in like a dorm, I always see people hanging out outside or just like out and about, sitting outside, going to the dining halls, and I don't really do that. Like at the apartment, no one's really hanging out outside. Even the clubhouse that we have, no one's really in there. And so it can get a little lonely sometimes, like if I'm not constantly trying to hang out with people on campus.
I had asked both students how commuting affects their sense of belonging. For Susie, staying motivated and involved means keeping close ties with her friends. She sees campus as more than just a place to study. It's where she feels connected and has a sense of belonging.
I think what probably honestly really helped me to still have a sense of community is just being, I suppose, like involved, like finding ways to still be on campus and still like take that extra mile of like, okay, like maybe let's not go home immediately as soon as my class is over and like hold myself up in my apartment.
Lorena admits it's tougher for her. Without the built-in social life of the dorms, she has to push herself to meet new people and build relationships in class.
It's definitely made me like go out of my comfort zone to meet people. Like sometimes in my classes, I'm like, well, I'm not gonna meet people like in my dorm building, so I'm just gonna turn around and be friends with whoever is behind me.
Both students also had ideas for how UNC Charlotte could improve commuter life. Susie suggested safer pedestrian crosswalks and limiting parking passes to reduce overcrowding.
But my goodness, would I really appreciate them adding another crosswalk where my path is, because the only other available crosswalk is way down, and it's just not very effective because I'm essentially going the opposite direction before I start going the direction I want to go.
Lorena had a different take. She wished that the shuttle system ran later and offered more transportation options, so commuter students wouldn't feel like they had to miss out on activities, especially for student events that happen later in the evening.
I just don't feel like worrying about taking the shuttle and like if I'll make it on time to get back to Arcadia. And so I just like don't go to events on campus sometimes because I know they're going to run late. And then I'm going to have to go back and pay for parking, for the visitor parking. And so I just skip out on things and I'm like, wow, if I lived on campus, I could just walk and I wouldn't have to worry about any of this, and I could maybe meet more people and like feel more included in the Charlotte atmosphere.
In the end, both Susie and Lorena share what it's really like to live off campus at UNC Charlotte. For Susie, commuting brings independence and balance. For Lorena, it often means distance and disconnection. Together, their stories show the freedom and the challenges that come with being a commuter.